What is going on, everyone? We are back with a review. So we're here to talk about the Twilight Zone, Season 1, Episode 6, and it's called Escape Clause. Please remember, before we get too much further into this, that everything that I do comes out a week earlier over on Patreon. If you want to see everything come out a week earlier, please subscribe to the Patreon, go over there and check it out. Now, moving forward. So yes, this was called Escape Clause. This is directed by Mitchell Leeson. Same guy that did the 16mm Shrine a couple episodes ago. Obviously written by Rod Serling, and this released November 6th, 1959. Okay, so to give you guys pretty much the basic rundown of this episode, well, I'll be a little detailed. I'll try to be. So, lead character in this is a hypochondriac. In the beginning, he's being checked out by a doctor. Doctor pretty much states nothing is wrong with you. And he's like, there's got to be something wrong with me. I'm laying on my deathbed. He's basically man-fluing it up, right? So then his wife comes in, and he's mad that she whispers to him because, she makes things worse. He's mad at the doctor because he thinks the doctor's full of shit. And the two of them, the doctor leaves, prescribes something to the wife for vitamins for her to take. And the husband gets mad because he got prescribed something, or she got prescribed something, and he's the one on his quote-unquote deathbed. So after she leaves the room for the night, he gets visited by a man who basically it comes out to reveal himself as the devil. And he offers him a life of immortality. And the only thing that is available outside of the life of immortality is he will live as long as he wants to live. And the only way he can get out is to call back up the devil and wish to be taken away, to finally want to end it. It's called the escape clause, basically. And otherwise, all it will cost him is his soul. So he agrees. So afterwards, and this is where the story falls apart for me, he tries in any way, shape, and form to get himself hurt and or killed, even though he can't take any damage. That's one of the things. Like, he started off, his first test was just after accepting the trade-off, putting his hands on floor heaters, the old school steam heaters. Put his hands on it, caused no pain. Later on, he jumps in front of a moving subway, nothing. You find out he's also been hit by a bus. He goes on to poison himself. Nothing hurts this man. Nothing can kill this man. And he's like, he talks about how bored he is that nothing can happen. So he decides he's going to go jump off the roof. Well, the wife chases him up there. They get into a bit of an argument, not like a serious one, but he's just like, leave me alone. And he's trying to walk towards the edge of the roof to throw himself off. And she's walking backwards. She doesn't realize that she's near the edge, and she falls over the edge of the roof and falls to her death. He then proceeds to go down and call the cops, admits that he basically says that he killed her, even though she just fell over. And his goal is to go through the electric chair. Well, they go to trial. He's found guilty, and instead of getting the electric chair where he's at, they put him in for life behind bars, with no opportunity for parole. Which, that part of the ending is really funny and really cool, because it's like, oh, you wanted to live forever? Well, guess what? You get to live forever in jail. But then they immediately, he gets so depressed, and the devil shows up, and the devil's like, you want me to go ahead and end it? And the dude's like, yeah. And he's like, well, you look just like a man who's having a heart attack. And he has a heart attack, and he's done. And that's the end of the episode. And here's my problem. While I don't doubt that he would eventually go on to try and legit off himself, to unalive himself, basically. Because nobody wants to, as much as people say they want to live forever, I don't think anybody truly would want to live forever. Because I think you'd eventually get to a point where you're just like, I have nothing else to do. Like, I've watched so many people come and go. But it would take time, right? This man's not even alive a couple hours, and he's already hurting himself. And He goes from being a hypochondriac who's afraid of death to doing everything he can to challenge it. And the story is written in a way that almost makes it seem like... Sorry, I don't know why I still have this timer going from the last one. He goes from constantly trying to... Or trying to... From living forever to constantly trying to not be alive. Like, he felt like he had so much to do, and then everything that he had to do all of a sudden turns into just ways to not be alive. It doesn't make sense. I'm not saying he would never eventually get to that point, but for it to be immediate just makes no sense. Zero. He almost he becomes obsessed with it. I don't know. And like I said, the ending, honestly, it was a good ending because I figured that was eventually where it was going to go. Was, you know, he was obviously going to wish it upon himself. Obviously, I didn't know how because I was interested halfway through, still trying to rack my brain to figure out where it was going. But man, the story was, I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like the story as a whole, and I liked the ending. So, we have Where Is Everybody, which was the very first episode, and that's the only one that I've liked the story and the ending. Everything else up until this point, I've liked the story but did not like the endings. And then all of a sudden, we get to this one, and I don't like the story, but I don't know. It ended better. This was... I don't know. Alright guys, that's going to do it though. Hopefully the next one, which is the Looney. Yeah. Looks like the Looney is the next one. I swear I was just reading something and I thought it was a different story that was going to be on. I don't know. Anyways, that's going to do it, guys. Thank you all for hanging out with me. I hated that story. That's all I really got to say. Love y'all. We'll see you next time. Peace.